Hey, hello, everybody. This is Purge. Bringing you guys a Purge Castle Pub. I found a random game on the watch tab. It looked pretty okay. Moderate mistakes being made by both teams, and I thought I would commentate it. So here I am. Hey, how you doing? So the video is a little bit late again. There was more casting in the morning, and then everybody was like, "Hey, do you want to go eat?" And I hadn't had breakfast yet. And I had this like Boston Market coupon, and Boston Market is the shit. So I decided I'm gonna go to Boston Market, and then when I get back, I'm gonna eat. Actually, I'm done eating. When I get back, I will make a Dota video, and then I'm going to stream. So, if you guys are done watching this video, or later when you're done watching this video, if you want to see more of my face and more of me playing Dota, and hopefully not too much of me getting frustrated at my allies, then go watch my stream. It is at twitch.tv/purgegamers, or you can just go to my website at purgegamers.com/stream. Okay, cool. On to a pubcast. A couple of heroes being picked up. We got a Troll Warlord. We got a Magnus up in here. Got a Slardar. I seem to remember one of the teams had way too many farming heroes. Like 5 farming heroes, I believe. And I think it was the Radiant team, the team that had Magnus on it, I believe. So it's kind of important to make sure that you only have up to 4 maximum farm-dependent heroes with 1 farm-independent hero, preferably. But preferably 2 heroes that don't really need that much farm to perform well. At least that's the case if you have tri-lane setups. That's usually the best way to go. So, slow pickers here. Let's see if we got any chat shit talk. Nothing yet. Tight-lipped players this game, I guess. Pretty exciting to see. Let's see if I have anything cool to announce. Nothing. I'm literally doing nothing. I have nothing going on for the next 2 months. I'm literally just going to sit in my house and make YouTube videos for you guys and occasionally leave the house.
Prepare for battle.
Very rarely is what I mean. Occasionally. Okay, yep. 5 farm independent or 5 farm dependent heroes. All 5 of these heroes more or less need items to be useful. Magnus is probably the least out of the 5 of them to become useful, but the rest of the guys are all very important to pick up farm. So we'll go over the player names, I guess. I haven't done this in a long time. Ugh. Johens Babas is playing Lifestealer. It looks like he's going to go jungle. We've got... You know what? I'm so upset that that guy's name is what it is that I'm just not going to read it. And then we got Barnaby Grimes is playing Huskar, and on the bot lane we've got Hanf, Harry is playing Doom, and Bad is playing Magnus. Where do people get their names? I don't know, guys. This looks like an offlane build. This looks like a possible jungling lycanthrope. I'm not entirely sure. And that's the Radiant team, whatever. For the Dire team, we got Zoloi Helebshek is playing Chaos Knight. We got Npak to Yurpak. He's playing Troll Warlord, alright. And then we got Demon. Yeah, legitimately this is Demon. Definitely not Dota Demon. I don't think Dota Demon would make these item build mistakes. He's playing Venomancer. And we got Crazy Pepper. Asterisk Dawn Boss is playing Phantom Lancer. Oh god. Is that what I think it is, guys? Whoa, I can click on this? Oh, that's cool. I had no idea you could do that. Well, how can I... I don't think there was any other way to stop that from coming up. This guy is indeed from the Ukraine, which is completely fine. This says nothing about his skill level, and we'll see how he performs. That's all I'm going to say, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Are those words... I don't know if those are words. Alright, let's talk about some skill builds and things. Yeah, Feral Impulse alone. Okay, this is no good. Do not do this, guys. It gives you literally 10 damage. Alright, he's got plus 8 damage from Feral Impulse. Alright, the bonus damage you get is based on your base damage. This is for himself and his wolves. All units under his control, which is wolves or Necro 3 units, or whatever. So Feral Impulse is pretty good. I forgot that that's stacked for Necro 3 units. It does make them very, very good. For some reason I was thinking it was only Howl, but it's Howl and Feral Impulse, which is really good. It's not worth grabbing this at level 1. It's almost always better to grab wolves for scouting reasons. You can use them to harass, hopefully, without dying, but they usually die because their HP is really low. But if you're laning and you're expecting to lane, I think grabbing Howl first is the best build to go. The cooldown is really long at 50 seconds, but the mana cost is irrelevant. It's 15, which means that by the time that the spell is off cooldown again, your mana will be regened, and it gives yourself 20 bonus damage for 12 seconds. It's not horrible. I guess he's going to lane now because he has Feral Impulse, and it only gives him damage and attack speed, so it's not really worth picking up at all for 1 point. It's 8 damage. I think you're better off grabbing either Wolves or the Howl. I might be wrong about this. It's kind of hard to say, but I would definitely grab Wolves regardless of what he's going to do. He might even have to jungle. It looks like Lifestealer is actually going to jungle. This is another hero that I really don't like seeing in the jungle. I'll talk about this a little bit because I think it's a pretty important point that lower skilled players usually make. But mainly, if you put a hero in the jungle like Lifestealer who cannot easily go from jungling to ganking while being strong at it, then makes a really weak link in your team. So let's ignore the rest of the other heroes on his team. Let's pretend that they have a hard carry and they have one support on the bot lane, and then they have a jungle lifestealer. If we're looking at the circumstance, all it does is make your lane suck. Let's say, for example, the Dire team does an aggressive dual lane. Like an Undying, like when I played Chen the other night, it was an Undying Visage. That's a scary, aggressive dual lane. You can beat those dual lanes with good play, but with slightly bad play or slightly weaker lanes, you're going to get absolutely stomped. And this is your hard carry farmer who needs to be protected, who needs to be able to get a lot of last hits. If you put a lifestealer in your jungle, all it accomplishes is you have somebody who's solo farming. Congratulations, you're able to go by yourself and you're able to get EXP in the jungle, but what you really need to be able to do is if your hard carry has trouble, you need to be able to pressure them. And this isn't as big of a deal in pubs because, yeah, it's whatever, it's a pub. But if you extrapolate this towards professional games or even like picking, more importantly, when you're actually drafting a lineup based on something specific, it puts you in a really bad spot because Lifestealer with his open wounds nerf now, it does 200 range. He's way worse at ganking than he was in the past. So jungling Lifestealer I think is honestly a terrible build. Sure, you can get a Midas before probably 10 minutes, and then you got a Midas, and then you get to catch up, but you literally spend 8 to 10 minutes being a solo hero on the map, and you probably won't get any ganks off because 200 range on open wounds is horrible. You won't be able to buy boots early because you want to get a hand of Midas. It's just really not worth it, in my opinion. And if we look at that aggressive duel lane, it's a frickin' Slardar Chaos Knight. Actually, both of these teams have almost all carries, so this is kind of a crazy game. But Chaos Knight with a Slardar is also not a very strong lane, but it can easily beat a Doom lane. That's absolutely possible, so pretty good for them. So don't do a jungling Lifestealer. I really don't recommend it. If you guys want to jungle heroes, you need to do heroes like Enchantress, like Chen, like... No, not Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet is kind of similar to a Lifestealer in that he's too weak for too long, in my opinion. If you're going to do a jungle Nature's Prophet, you should be in the off lane, which means you're starting an off lane and eventually shift in the jungle. I think that's by far a much stronger way to play. And as you guys can see, Doom has decided to leave the lane for whatever reason. He's probably just scared, but this is kind of a scary dual lane, honestly. They both have stuns, and they're both last hitting, which is probably really intimidating. So... let's look at some other players. Okay, we have Troll Warlord. He's going for the old auto attack creeps and buy no items build, which is always really strong. Our Phantom Lancer is going for nuke first. Doppelwalk is starting into skill build. Or item build is great. Venomancer ended up picking up Poison Sting at level 1, which is a complete mistake. And but at least he's got Gale now. He actually has absolutely no regen at all, which is completely silly. And even the creep damage that he's taking right now is going to cost him a lot because he's not going to be able to heal back up to full. So it's time for him to go back to base. On the bright side, he did buy a flying or a regular courier, but yeah, he's not going to be able to do much else now because he's down to 200 HP. He can't Gale, he can't do anything else. And he obviously did not watch my starting item build video because boots first is no good, especially when you have absolutely no regen at all. 1 tango is bad enough. 2 tangos is no good. So Huskar on the mid lane, he is picking up 2 levels of Berserker's Blood. I don't really like the skill build right now because the Troll Warlord does very little magic damage. The only magic damage he actually does is with his Whirling Axes. So I would probably go 2 levels of Burning Spear with 1 level of Berserker's Blood, at least for the early game. I will make a Huskar video soon. I sometimes do random him and play him, but I always turns out not going very well. And here we go. We have a jungling Lifestealer who might be in some trouble. He's actually fighting the Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight should just be, never mind, not fighting this. Wow, he got a crit on his first hit. That was really lucky. Are they going to get the kill, though? He is actually faster than both of these guys, so he's going to be absolutely fine here. Yep, there will be a stun, and Slardar is going to do some stuff. I was pretty lucky of Doom to crit. He did like 190 damage, so he picked up the Alpha Wolf, which in some ways is a nice early creep, but it's actually going to push out the lane, which is not a good thing. So he's going to finish a Ring of Basilius. He'll turn that off. I actually really like Ring of Basilius start on Doom because his int is really crap at start. His int gain is actually really good. He gains 2 per level, but the downside is that that means his int is really weak in the early game. So Ring of Basilius is going to supply him enough mana to be a little bit healthier here. Let's talk about more about why this Troll build sucks. It should be pretty apparent to you right now. It's because Troll literally has no way to regen right now, and he's sitting by his tower, so he's just going to let, I guess, Huskar get the free farm, and he's going to go into melee range and fight. I don't like this idea, though. It's a little crazy. Alright, he's already got the Inner Vitality, I guess. It's a weird game, guys. Really weird game. Well, he's just about ready to purchase his Ring of Health, which I'm guessing is what he's going for. We'll see. Please buy your regen items. Phantom Lancer picks up Boots next, and if he grabs Tranquil Boots next, he's going to be in a great spot. He's not very good at last city, that's for sure. He's definitely doing a lot of auto-attacking. In fact, we have a Salve ferried all the way to the top lane by the Venomancer. No Flying Courier, of course. And Troll finally decides to run back to base with 900 gold. Maybe he's going Lifesteal first. That might be what he's doing. We'll see. These guys are really new, though. That's for sure. And Doom looks so cool. Does he actually have a sword? He does. I'm not completely sure if this sword has a custom animation or not. I actually really like this skill build. This is our item build. This is a lot of what I do as well. I like going Devour with Scorched Earth. I think it's pretty solid. Gives you enough mana, gives you some movement speed. He's maxing out Devour, so he's going to increase his GPM by a lot. Huskar on the mid lane's auto-attacking like crazy. I am not a huge fan of the Urn pickup on Huskar, mainly because he doesn't really need any mana regen in the early game. This guy actually did end up picking up... He did end up picking up Inner Vitality, so technically he will run out of mana or whatever, but I think an early Urn isn't that great, personally. So he's got 3 levels of Berserker's Blood now, which reduces the magic damage he takes. So this does for reduced life break. So if you're really low HP, it'll reduce the amount of damage. Not too bad. I don't know where the Troll went. I guess Troll is going to Helm of Iron Will first, and now he's running to the top lane because he wasn't happy with the mid lane, so switching over. I guess Venomancer's going mid, despite having absolutely 0 HP and 0 mana. If he just gets ultied, he's dead. What is this? Kill this man. What are you waiting for? Huskar, just kill him. Huskar, just do it. It's literally the easiest kill you've ever done. He's going to attack you once for Poison Sting, and you're going to take approximately, like, 60 magic damage, and then it's all over. Alright, instead of buying a Tranquil Boots, which would have been the best solution to what he's currently working with, he's going to go for a Aquila. I actually really don't like... I don't think Ring of Aquila is really needed on Phantom Lancer. I think it's fine to grab a Basilius if you really want some extra mana, but I think grabbing the Aquila is unneeded. That's great, it's for agility heroes and all, but you don't really need a Wraith Band that much as Phantom Lancer. I think you're better off going for getting your regen available, and then you should grab at least one tanky item, like a Vitality Booster or something, and then you're pretty much all set. So, Huskar still unable to ulti the Venomancer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I would like
attack.
to see him maybe salve and go for the dive here. If he was full HP, definitely could. The bot lane continues. We got a Ring of Health picked up on Slardar and some boots. No boots, actually. He's going the... Wow, I've literally never seen somebody build treads this way. Going for the belt and the glove first. Got him. Boy, did he get him. Really surprised this happened just now. Well, Lycan has picked up some wolves at least, which is pretty good. So eventually he will have wolves ready to go. This is definitely one of the lower level pubs I've seen in a really long time. It's not like way down there. Oh, Chaos Knight killed Doom. That's what happened. Alright, good deal. And what has Lifestealer accomplished so far? Literally nothing. He's farmed 750 gold. He has ganked, but it's accomplished very little. And yeah, Doom died. Doom actually has very, very low armor, so against the Chaos Knight as well as the Slardar, he's actually really weak to that, so... Not the best situation for him to be in. Slightly inefficient item build, or skill build on Chaos Land as well. I really don't like grabbing an early Chaos Strike. Your damage is quite low and it's unreliable. You're better off increasing your range and the damage you get from Reality Rift, as well as lowering the cooldown. It's much better to do it this way. It's really not worth grabbing crits early unless you're really trying to aim for a good mid game with like an Armlet or something like that. Like a Skeleton King, some games I'll just like leave the Hellfire Blast low and I'll max out crit fairly early in the hopes that I'll get some lucky crits on the mid game and then maybe kill some heroes, but even that doesn't really work out to my satisfaction usually. So, looks like PL actually ferried himself some more tangos or something. We do have a flying courier, at least there's couriers on both teams. But Venomancer unwisely going for the continuous magic damage build against Huskar, which is really not worth it. Please ulti this man, thank god. Here comes the kill. Easiest kill ever. He might actually die to tower. Yeah, he's gonna die to tower though. Well, could be worse. Not bad for Venomancer. His mistake there, and one way that you can actually get around dying in situations like that, is if there are creeps in the way. Is this a guy raising his arms? I'm not sure. It either says something or it's like a guy like, haha, I killed you. He got no EXP from it. If he would have gotten EXP, that would have been fantastic, because Huskar was level 8, but even still, it's not going to be worth it. But what you can do is if you use Burning Spear and then you left click, so you would press, for me for example, Burning Spear is R, so if I press R and left click a hero, it counts as me casting a spell on them and not me right clicking here. So if I'm under tower, that's a really good way to stop the aggro from coming on me from the tower. So you could ulti in and you could use Burning Spears to repeatedly attack. The other skills that you can use that for, you can use Frost Arrows from Drow Ranger, or you can use the Orb from Obsidian Destroyer, or the Poison Attack from Viper. Those all work. Those are all ways to ignore tower aggro. There have to be creeps under tower, though. If there's no other creeps under tower, then the tower will, of course, attack you. So, to a Warlord going from a Helm into a Phase. I don't like early levels of Berserker's Rage. This isn't worth scaling up early, at least under preference of Whirling Axes. Whirling Axes should always be maxed before the Berserker's Rage, 100%. Venomancer gets a kill on Lifestealer, actually. So still not able to pick up his Hanamitis. And we're actually going to be going all in against Doom. Alright, there he goes. He's still taking a lot. Wow, he's going to die. Yeah, he's going to die. Deny yourself. Deny yourself. Ah, oh, damn, that would have been so epic. Maybe not epic, but like expected, because it was like... Don't you ever watch Dota, guys? This does not look good. I am having a lot of trouble telling what's going on, but it's mostly Huskar just going ham and killing everybody. So, I mean, his Burning Spear is pretty darn weak right now, but I mean, he can right-click. I really do recommend leveling up Burning Spears. I mean, the health cost stays the same. I've been killed as an offlane hero by like 4 Burning Spears before, because it does 7... That is so much damage. 7 seconds at 20 damage is a total of 140 magic damage. So every spear you throw does 140 magic damage over 7 seconds. That is crazy. That means like 2 of those is basically 1 nuke. So if you attack somebody twice, it's the equivalent of a typical 300 magic damage nuke. That is insane. It does the same damage. It's over 7 seconds, obviously, so it's less burst, but still really good to level those up. It's your main damage burst as well. You don't get damage from Berserker's Blood anymore, so I'm not a huge fan of the lifesteal Inner Vitality build. I never really liked it that much because I always thought that Burning Spears were pretty good, but... So far, the Huskar is doing pretty well. He's got 3 kills. His CS are actually not bad at 45, considering he's been literally auto-attacking everybody. This could be way worse. I suppose I should have turned the CS up. He's like by far ahead of everybody as well. So, Phantom Lance are going for Treads. His skill build is awful. Should always max Spirit Lance by level 4 because it by far gives you the most damage and utility in the early game out of everything else possible. Scar is going to kill Slardar. Good times and all. Doom is not used for this. Oh god, use Devour. Devour. No. And Lifestealer's back in the jungle. And he just now picks up his Hanamitis. So let's look at his GPM really quick here. Obviously he's died once and he's been ganking and wasting some time. But he's literally sitting at 203 GPM. This is pretty equivalent to everybody else in the game because everybody in this game is relatively terrible, but don't think for a second that this is useful. It's really not that great. His level is also, I'm sure, very, very mediocre. Oops, that's KDA. I want current level, hero level. There we go. So he is sitting lower-ish of the pack based on this Midas. Obviously, he gets an extra level every time he kills a large creep, but puts him really far behind. And also, he's had to pick up a lot of levels of Feast to do more damage to the neutrals, as well as level faster, so this is going to hurt him when the teamfights actually do start happening. Like, doing 4 levels of Feast is just not really feasible anymore, because Open Wounds is such low range now. Causes a lot of problems. See Huskar maybe get... Stunning would have been really good. As you guys can see, the Burning Spears damage is garbage with only 1 level. Don't max Bash. This is so bad. Max a reliable stun. Slithering Crush is a reliable stun. Please max that instead. When I play Slardar, I actually get multiple levels of Sprint usually, and I leave Bash pretty low because your attack speed doesn't even get very good until later. The reliable... You usually want to go for reliable things when you're talking about the early game. The only hero where you don't really care about reliability as much is Faceless Void because... His others, most of his skills are based on reliability. You grab Backtrack and you grab Time Lock because there's not really a whole lot else you can get. I usually get at least like 2 of his like movement spell. I think it's Time Walk. I'm pretty sure. Backtrack and Time Lock are his other 2. So it's Time Walk, Backtrack, Time Lock with Chronosphere. But it's okay to get unreliability on him, but on other heroes, man, these skill builds are all over the place bad. Max Phantom or Spirit Lance always. You can do this build, but I personally like maxing Gale over Poison Sting, because you can hit multiple heroes with it very easily. I guess it's not that much better than Poison Sting to max out, but I enjoy it. Don't get 3 levels of Fervor before you max out Whirling Axes. Whirling Axes should always be maxed first, in all circumstances. 1 level of Berserker's Rage, max Whirling Axes and get a Fervor, all the time. Lycan actually went for Phase this game, which is slightly a waste, because when you go into ulti form, you're already going max movement speed, so Phase aren't really that great. And Venomancer are going to throw his life away, because he's a pro. He might possibly kill the Lycan, because he did max out his poison skill. Especially with his lance, he will die now for sure. That's a dead kill. So Peel gets a kill. See Chaos Knight pick up a high skilled kill as well. Man, that Husker, what a nice guy.
Thanks.
Cast an Inner Vitality on his bro. And this is going to be a Vlad's Phase Rush on Doom, which I do not recommend.
Haste.
The reason Vlad's is not a good choice this early on Doom, he does have very low armor, so the armor protection is great and all. You get lifesteal, he doesn't auto-attack that much, and you get, some damage bonuses. Base damage is actually really good, as is his strength growth, so, okay, you're going to get a lot out of this. Wow, started getting absolutely crushed on here. If only his Burning Spears did more damage. He will die, though.
Slippery
And Doom gets the last hit.
when
If he's going to cast the Burning Spears, he might as well level them up, honestly. He really should.
Radiant's
Target's
top
killed.
tower has fallen.
Lycan is going to slowly right-click. Nice.
out of here.
Little ranged nuke coming out of Doom here. God, the Vlads is so bad. Don't get a Vlads, especially you have a Lycan. Lycan's going to want to make Vlads. And hey, look at this. Lycan already has a Vlads. Now they have 2 Vlads. So basically, if they're in the same place at the same time, 2,050 gold is wasted completely. There it is, 2,050 gold for these 2 items. The ores do not stack at all. Literally nothing. Alright, the only thing that stacks from this item, like if there's 2 people with Vlads in the same spot, is they both get 2 HP regen per second from the item. That's the only thing that stacks about it. Absolutely the only thing. It's a 6 skewer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So don't get it. If you guys want an early Doom item, I kind of like getting Midas sometimes if I'm in a safe armor or if I'm in a jungle position. Doom is another jungling example that I don't think is very good, by the way. Don't jungle Doom usually, unless you kind of have to, and that's sometimes pub games. You might be going for a Heaven's Halberd next or a Sanjin Yasha. Not sure which. Either build is pretty bad. Don't get a Sanjin Yasha for sure. I guess a Halberd is not horrible against these heroes because there's a lot of heroes that you could disarm, but I don't really recommend it too much. Phantom Lancer now has treads. He is being chased, and the illusion will now die. So. His skill build looks okay now. You can kind of do whatever you want really with Juxtapose and Doppelwalk, but I definitely think 4 levels of Lance should be prioritized every time. You always basically want to level up at least 1 nuke, almost always, because it gives you the possibility to kill. Your nukes should almost always be prioritized. You want them, like the strongest they're ever going to be is right when you hit level 7, because as people's HP scales in the late game, that nuke becomes a smaller and smaller percentage of your HP. The only hero where this isn't really the case that actually has a scaling nuke is like Skywrath Mage or something. So it's almost always better to max your nuke first. Huskar, you could even argue similar things with his Burning Spears. They do 20 damage per second by level 7. The only downside to this, to maxing Burning Spears with 2 levels of Berserker's Blood, is that you could actually die to magic damage fairly early in the early game. So this guy almost died.
Radiant's bottom tower is
It's not going to blind Shockwave, so. Huskar happily using Burning Spears to kill creeps. He's got 3,000 gold. He should probably spend that, and now everybody's gearing up to fight bottom. So I guess Slardar might be going Vanguard Shreds, which is not horrible. Chaos Knight going for an Armlet himself, which is pretty good. I really like Armlet on Slardar. I always get Armlet when I play Slardar in a safe farming role. I think it's the best role, or the best way to play him, personally. Blink Dagger is also very good if you get a lot of ganks off, but if you don't get ganks, then it can be a little iffy. Man, that was like a really cost-efficient hit. One benefit to the Vlads that Doom is getting here is that it does give him a lot of mana regen. Kill him. Oh my god. Oh no, don't tell me this. Oh my god, he's gonna live. Never mind, he still died. What? Alright, fight's over, guys. Alright, major mistakes. Huskar didn't kill the Venomancer. He still doesn't have multiple levels of Burning Spears. He easily could have killed the Venom with burn damage if he had 4 levels of this. I really hope he puts more levels into it. He bought a Reaver, which is okay, whatever. He's got more HP, survivability, all that good stuff, but not a huge fan of that. Vanguard, I'm guessing, on the way? Okay, Vanguard for Slardar. It's an okay Slardar item. He is a hero that needs some regeneration and some survivability, because he will burn through a lot of survivability through sprint. There's an Armlet on Chaos Knight now, which is great. Does increase his damage a lot. I really don't like this max Chaos Strike build. You should almost always do Reality Rift. It makes it doesn't matter as much in this case because he doesn't have a Wisp or something. It's not like, but they don't really have any other initiation ways, so I guess it's still the best build for him to go, or it would have been. Whatever, do what you want, I guess. Badly. And like in with Vlad's and Phase Boots gives him a Mytho Hammer next, so BKB probably for him. I wish he would maybe Roshan. It's pretty scary to Roshan when you're on the Radiant team and the Dire is not idiots, but he might still be able to sneak it, we'll see. I would like to see Slardar pick up either some mana regen item, at least like a wand is great, or a magic stick, especially on strength heroes. Slardar's actually a very mana dependent hero. If he runs out of mana, his hero gets significantly worse. Like having a 8-second AoE cooldown stun is not bad at all. Ah, God, why did you have to miss that? God, that was the easiest kill ever. Oh, the rally rift works. Stun him. Yes. Alright, he's gonna die now. Didn't miss that stun, guys. Tread switch to drop amp damage and then kill him. Slardar's actually good against a lot of the really popular heroes right now. Alchemist is pretty countered by Slardar, as is Timbersaw actually. Timbersaw has a lot of troubles with Slardar as well, just because the armor reduction makes him severely less tanky. Like heroes that are quite tanky or rely on their HP to stay alive, Slardar can be quite annoying towards, so you can try him out sometime against those nasty heroes. And stuns are great against Timbersaw as well. Got Doom preparing to enter. See if he dooms the right guy. I would like to see a Doom on PL maybe. Nice, alright. Kill PL, kill PL. There you go. Good up. We got a good ulti from Magnus. Alright, PL's dead. Alright, there was no follow-up. Did he skewer into that? I didn't really see. Oh, the bashes, run! That's gonna miss. Does not have the mana. Oh, he's really fast though. Well, they did it, guys. Oh, this could be a kill. Armlet toggle not successful. So, pretty good fight for the Radiant team there. That's what happens when RP actually works. The Doom was solid from Doom, I think. But things didn't quite work out. This guy's got a lot of HP now. His inner vitality is probably a pretty good bonus from attribute, just 20%.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, I haven't read this tooltip in so long. If the target is below 40%, it will heal faster. Bonus when hurt is 60%. This gives you HP regen. You get bonus from strength, and then you get bonus when hurt. I think my phone's dying because it just vibrated. So
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Don't die, phone. You guys ready to hear the USB sound when I plug my phone in? Ta-da! Here it comes. Here it comes. Nope, it's way too dead to make that sound right now, so probably should have plugged this in before I went to bed, or when I sat back down. It's fine. You guys will hear it later, I promise. So, not a whole lot's happening. I kind of wish, I mean, both of these teams basically have a ton of farming heroes. They could really just spread out and, alright, probably get things done. That's new. Should really cast Doom before he dies. Alright. Nice. Important pro tip. Make sure you use Armlet before you split. The reason is, this gives you plus 25 strength. And your illusions are based off of your primary damage attribute, this 104 number. And the only way to increase this is with strength items. So if you activate your Armlet, it gives your illusions the extra 25 damage, basically. So you have to activate Armlet, you can split. If you don't want to use Armlet after that, turn it off. But they will get the plus 25 damage from activating Armlet, which is why you pick up the item. It's a really inexpensive way to get damage to your illusions. Armlet is a really good CK item, basically.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, Huskar, do it. Damn it, he's getting stats, guys. He's literally not leveling up Burning Spears. Troll still does not have Whirling Axes maxed out. And his build is really weird. He's going to phase AC, it looks like. He's got a plate mail as well as a chainmail, and he also has a Helm of the Dominator. I think getting Lifesteal on Troll Warlord is not bad at all. It's not. It's a pretty good thing to get because it can mean that you can fight one guy 1v1 really easily. But oftentimes the problem with Troll Warlord, in my experience, is that people just run away from you. Is the issue. So I usually see issues with that. So oftentimes it might be better just to go movement speed instead. I have no idea what he's making with this Gloves of Haste. Something. He's making something. I do kind of like purchasing some kind of an int item with Doom early on. I think grabbing a Vlad's covers some of the issues, but there's much better items to grab than a Vlad's. Like, grab a drum, for example. Drum gives you 9 intelligence, which means a bigger mana pool. Obviously, this will give you more mana over time than a drum will, but just having something that increases your total pool in the early game is really useful, I think. Can you ulti this? Ulti this? Ulti it. Ulti this. Ulti it. Okay, alright. Just as he goes invisible. Really unlucky. I guess they didn't have detection anyway, so he was going to live, but... And another vitality booster for Slaughter, I guess. It's not tanky enough.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
This looks like it'll be an armlet on Lifestealer. He went Basher after the Midas. Not a huge fan of this. I like grabbing armlet first, personally, but the Bashes are kind of nice against a lot of these tanky heroes. Slaughter accidentally, more or less, max out Slither and Crush now. His sprint is still very slow, though. This could be twice as good with more skill points. And there's your armlet. So. Oh, who'd they find? Magnus. This does not look good, guys. Skewer. Wow, he got stunned for so long. As one dead hero. Yes, he did it! Burning Spear, guys. Twice as good with 1 skill point. He's almost got heart now. Oh, did he just crit? Oh, no, he didn't. Nuke him. Nuke him. Alright, just kill him.
Venom.
That works. God, I was supposed to talk about something cool. Oh yeah, the heart. Alright, issues with this heart on Huskar thing, that if the enemy team was good, that he would run into trouble with. The issue is that heart, yes, it increases your inner vitality, it gives you a lot of survivability, it gives you plus 40 damage when the item's completed, because plus 40 strength is 40 damage for Huskar. It's great and all. Your survivability goes up, all is well. Your percentage of HP, your actual number of HP when you get into lower percentages of Berserker's Blood are going to be more useful. They'll go a little farther, is what I'm trying to say. The downside is that your opponents have the best tank counter in the game, which is frickin' Slaughter with Amplify damage, which reduces your armor by a ridiculous amount. He has 7 armor right now. If he gets amp damage, he's going to take accelerated damage from any physical attack, and if we look at the entire Dire team, except for Venomancer, they're almost all physical damage focused, which means that grabbing a heart first item is not a smart choice, I think. It's better to do an armlet would be great because it gives you a mix of HP and armor. For example, I mean look at his minus armor right now. These tower hits are doing like 130 damage or something. If he defuses him, he should be able to get a kill here. But he's not doing it. So look how much damage he just took. He died so fast, and all he has is a diffusal blade and a treads. That's it. That's all it really took. I don't know why PL's standing still so long, but he's gonna fight, I guess. Okay, he's out. He's out, guys. Oh, the bash! Good timing for a bash. Oh, he's got a Deso, okay. Lycan's actually doing pretty well. Desolator's a pretty good choice in this case, just because, well, Match Community would be nice. If the team fights were actually organized, the BKB would be more important. But again, he doesn't armlet before he splits. Big mistake. It's a strong illusions, but if he would have armleted, it would make a big difference. Hyperstone also does absolutely nothing for him. There's that damage. This makes me want to play Slardar for some reason. I used to hate Slardar, and now I like him again. I don't know what happened. Something weird happened. Alright, Vanguard purchase for Phantom Lancer. This is an old common build for PL and Spectre, for example, just to like keep you survivable until you got to a farm state. I don't really recommend it anymore, though. Usually Tranquil Boots will cover your HP regen, which is why it's so popular on most carries. But grabbing a Vanguard, all it accomplishes is more HP. It gives you HP regen and the damage block. The damage block is kind of nice. It doesn't work for your illusions, I believe. I don't think your illusions can damage block. But you can on your primary hero, which is, it's fine, whatever. Survivability is great, gets you to a safe place. But buying it after the Fusel Blade kind of defeats the purpose. And also, there's usually a plan on a Phantom Lancer to farm so much items that eventually you'll be capped out. And buying a Vanguard will almost always run into troubles in the late game. Obviously, like, you won't always make it in the late game because you'll lose, and you can make arguments for Vanguard because of that, but it's much, much better, in my opinion, to just grab a Vitality booster and leave it at that until you get your heart. If you just buy the vitality booster, you get the exact same amount of HP. You don't get the HP regen, you don't get the damage block, but then the vitality booster sits in your item slot until you want to make a heart, and then bam, you make a heart. I think there was a period of time, by the way, when Vanguard was like by far the most built item in the entire game. Like everybody built a Vanguard, and the reason was because it actually blocked equivalent amounts of damage for your ranged heroes as well as your melee. So that got nerfed. It used to give more HP than this. That got nerfed. I think it might have even given more regen, and that got nerfed as well. So now it's much less popular. Most people don't build Vanguard anymore. It's just not very common. So no more Vanguards. People like tanky utility items instead, basically. Drum of Endurance is a better purchase usually, or not that gives you regen, of course, but this guy's really good at like preparing the last hit and then not getting it ever. It's like, I'm gonna put this one in one and then I'm not gonna finish it off. It's really weird. Might see Magnus die, I guess. Look at that ulti. Damn, he's got 3 levels of spears, guys. Alright. There's a PL in here somewhere. I guess it's gonna be a Yasha, maybe.
Middle tower has fallen.
PL naturally with like a ridiculous abundance of agility based on his crazy agi gain, 4.2 per level. That is so good. His strength gain is pretty garbage though, 0.7.
Thanks.
See what else is happening. Chaos Knight's healing up again. Still trying to make an AC. I really don't like AC on Chaos Knight that much. The benefits, all right. In his defense, one nice thing about AC on Chaos Knight is I believe the illusions do give the aura. It doesn't stack, of course, but the illusions get, I think, the attack speed aura of 20. If we take a look at the item, I think it's a 20 attack speed aura. Yeah, 20 attack speed aura, a 5 armor aura, and a 5 armor reduction aura. So it's pretty good offensively, because your illusions get more damage from the -5 armor, and they get the attack speed, but they don't get the 35 attack speed, for example. Things like Hyperstone or Treads don't give any attack speed to your illusions unless you're talking about edgy treads. Like Strength Treads only give your illusions 8 strength and extra HP. That's it. Ugh, sorry. It usually does make Treads the best boots for illusion heroes, though. Other than Boots of Travel are really good because they make you run fast. So we got the heart finished on the Huskar. He's now got 2600 HP. This means he's got 100 strength, which means like bonus from attributes. So you probably get like, what, 20 extra regen per second. So he's getting like 30 regen per second right now from inner vitality, no matter what his HP is. If he goes below a certain value, then I don't know what that bonus when hurt is based off of. Is that based on your strength attribute? If that's the case, he heals really fast with strength when he gets lows. I mean, I don't know why people are fighting. I'm not even seeing this coming. It's not worth it to fight without your 5, and that's by far the biggest mistake being made by the Radiant team. They just kind of run in at random times and stuff happens. I don't even know you can make that mistake. Okay. Alright, nuke him up. Give a man in power, cast some power on somebody. Lycan preferably. Dude, Lycan is like really committing here. This guy doing his best to attack creeps. Pretty cool. Damn, he's getting 90 mana per second, or HP regen. That's like really good. It's like so much regen. Alright, good. He did cast some power on the Lycan. Alright, the mistake that was made by the Magnus, obviously. He was expecting a Blink Dagger from the Courier. It wasn't delivered to him, and he tried blinking and ulting, so he ultied nothing. And then his Blink Dagger was given him. But the crazy part is, like, how did he even know which hotkey it was, you know? Like, it's like he was anticipating, okay, it's going to be on my 4 hotkey. The item will come to me, I'll press 4 and blink, but he didn't even check his inventory. That was like that's the craziest thing I've seen, man. Probably this game. A second Helm of Iron Will is purchased. Did he? Yeah, he did. He disassembled this for a Vlad's. Does anybody else have a Vlad's? Let's just make sure. No. Okay, cool. We got 1 Vlad's on the Dire team. You can disassemble Helm of Iron Will if you guys are interested. The downside is that the Helm of Iron Will doesn't build into very many other things that are worthwhile building. So it's basically the Helm or the Veil or the Armlet, and none of those are really good for Troll Warlord at all. You could make an Armlet, I guess, if you want more HP and you want to lose HP constantly, but it's really not that worth it. You get 10 attack speed, you get plus 31 damage for mean, that's not bad. I guess you're getting, what, 31... You're getting 40 damage out of an armlet for 2,600, and a demon edge costs about that much. 40 damage for... Yeah, it's approximately the same. Armlet's kind of cool, I guess, for edgy heroes. Magnus making sick plays once again. This is Shadowblade on Venomancer. I really don't like Shadowblade on Venomancer, especially hard support. Much better off getting things like Mech, Arcane Boots, Wand, obviously. You can get a Veil, you can get an Aghanims. The Shadowblade's not needed. You can even get a Force Staff. You could accomplish basically the same thing with a Force Staff, I think. I also like putting Plague Wards on high ground so you can spot enemies. For example, there is a Lifestealer. Wow. He, like, really needed to rage that. Like, really. He turned on his armlet, but that was it. And Lycanthrope is going for a Lincoln Sphere, I guess. The mana regen is kind of unnecessary. And if he just got like a BKB, he'd be a lot stronger. Alright, that's a good Doom choice. I like it. Venomancer goes down. Lycan can run. Yeah, Doom's ability to fight is really not strong right now.
Radiant's middle barracks are
You get a blink? Huskar, attack. He died, guys. Burn him. Burn him. Oh, he lived. Oh my god. That was so close. So yeah, did you see that happen? He just died. The amp damage landed on him, and then it was pretty much over. He doesn't know what to attack. PL's winning, guys. I mean, they honestly have the tools to beat PL this game. They really do. These guys just have no idea which one's the real one ever, is the problem. They're gonna get a kill, I think. Alright. All they need... Alright, literally, all they need to do is they need to cast... Oh, that's the wrong one. They literally just need to put Empower on the Lycan and the Doom, and then they need to go fight. And then they can easily kill the PL illusions. But if it's like literally just illusions, they're not going to get them. I've never seen such an easy game before. They literally have no clue how to beat the PL. You need cleave, guys. Gotta anticipate this problem a lot earlier. Be like, oh hey, there's a PL on the enemy team. Maybe I should get a Battle Fury. Maybe I should grab a Maelstrom. He actually does have a Maelstrom, which is pretty good. Mjolnir would be better, but he's actually doing okay in farm right now. If we check out his who's farmed the most, his net worth is actually way up there. So the Midas has paid off in the late game, but again, in the early game is still weak, which can lose you games. My point still stands, okay? So AC is finished now in Troll. His build does not have enough damage items. I wish he had more movement speed as well. Like a Yasha at least is really useful, in my opinion. As far as his attack speed isn't better, it feels so slow. Feels quite weak to me. Starter going for a Heart. So Vanguard Heart, I guess it is. Just wants to be obscenely tanky and not die. But I think all they really need is the PL, of course. He's got Manta finished. A Diffusal Blade level 2 would be a bit better. Usually it's sometimes worth it to level it up immediately because it doubles the damage that Diffusal Blade does for your illusions. It only gives them 4 additional agility, but the feedback goes from 20 to 36, which is a massive difference. Really, really big difference. So, but basically they go from doing like 22 damage and 20 burn, which is the difference. It's like 27 damage to 36. It's like 45, something like that. It's a pretty big difference. It's about double. So upgrading twice is pretty good. The downside is you lose a lot of charges, but whatever. Troll has now died because he has nothing to stop the burning spears. That was a RP used by Magnus. Huskar, I'm not sure what he's making. Maybe a BKB, who knows. There actually is an Aghanims on the Venomancer. Are they going to find him? Probably not. Pretty good hiding spot. But now that he has Aghanims, it's a 60-second cooldown ultimate. It does an obscene amount of damage. 108 damage per second for 16 seconds. That's like over 1,600 damage on every enemy of your opponents if they don't have magic immunity. It's so good. Aghanims on Veno is by far one of the best ones. Really, really good item. The downside is its damage over time, of course, but the poison is really good. Too bad Huskar is more or less immune to that stuff. Is he gonna go for it? Yeah, that's right, go for it. Oh, come on. Don't be afraid. It's just a Huskar. You've got 600 whole HP to work with. It's a big deal. Alright, West the Radiant team is running back to freedom. Doom is a Mjolnir. Okay, so they do have some options. Mjolnir on Doom. Does he have one finished yet? He does. He is actually also going to make one. So they are grabbing the right items. They've got Empower, and they have a lot of Mjolnirs. There it is, 2 Mjolnirs. All right. They definitely have the AoE magic damage. Doom is still not tanky enough to DPS with these items. Grabbing the Sange first is a complete waste. If you're just going to pick up a Sange and leave it at that, you should not be buying this item on Doom at all. If you want to make a Halberd, okay, whatever, go for it. But I don't think it's very smart against the PL. It's kind of useful against like Slardar, Chaos Knight, etc., maybe Troll, but none of these heroes are really a factor because they're not being played very effectively. So I would say skip it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, hey, they're fighting. Oh my god, Veno got a really good ulti off, though. So Huskar forgot to cast his heal on himself, so he did very little. But they did kill 2 heroes, and Lycan is trying to figure out which way to run.
Radiant's middle barracks
I don't know
are
if
under
they
attack.
had Mjolnir buffs up. Looks like they did not. Alright, looks like Doom did use his, but I think
Radiant's
the
middle
Lifestealer
barracks
forgot
has
his.
fallen.
If they just put one of these on the Huskar, for example, he would proc a lot. A lot. I believe, if you don't know what this does exactly, you cast it on an ally or yourself, or a creep, and as the creep is attacked, it's like a 20% chance to release a... I don't remember what the percentage is, 20 might be wrong, but it's like a 20% chance to release a 200 AoE magic nuke, which means that if PL is focusing somebody and attacking them with like 8 illusions, it will proc fairly often. I think it has a cooldown as well, but I think this might be the end of the game, it looks like it, especially with the troll.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
You can just push the game. Hey, you got his Yasha, guys. Attack so fast.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Do it, Magnus. Magnus, no. And again, Huskar does very little because his armor is horrible. Definitely worth getting at least Armlet for some extra armor.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Is he casting his Tornado?
Radiant's ancient is under
Another pro tip, when you're fighting a PL or a manager and you gotta use Rage. It's really important. If your magic immune feedback does not work, you cannot get drained. It works against Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer, everything.
Look what we
So it's going to be a dire victory because PL's OP against people who don't know how to play against him. It's kind of just bad decision making, mostly from the Radiant team. If they just like grouped up as 5, I mean, Huskar did a good job roaming around and getting kills and stuff, but PL just started not dying, and like he didn't even play that well. He just sat there and attacked, and he killed stuff because they kept fighting him. His teammates' builds were really inefficient, largely. The Heart Vanguard Slardar wasn't very good. Chaos Knight's build was kind of okay, but his farm was still pretty low. But they were in a dual lane, so I guess that's what happens. PL was really the only guy that actually got a free farm lane, but wasn't he versus a dual lane? Yeah, he was versus like a Lycan Magnus or something ridiculous like that. So lots of errors being made, and that is my criticisms of them. So that's a Purge Cast Up Pub. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to go stream now, so if you want to watch, go to purgegamers.com/stream or twitch.tv/purgegamers, and you guys can watch me play some pub games. Most likely lose quite a bit. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching. Bye.